Everybody, what's up? This is Tim from the LV with Self Confidence Express. Hope you all are doing awesome wherever you are, and thanks so much for watching. I am filming today from my favorite spot on the east coast of the U.S. It's in Virginia, and it's called Belmont Bay, and I'm going to try to give you guys a pan shot of Belmont. Belmont is one of the premier water inlets off the Atlantic Ocean, and we are sitting probably 8 to 10 miles south of Washington, D.C. in Alexandria, Virginia. And what brings me here every year is a conference that my buddy Rob and I go to. And during that time, we usually take a couple hours one of the mornings to come to Belmont and just talk about what has the last year held, where do we want the next year to go. We spend some time casting the vision for our lives, talking about success strategies, collaborating on what things do we want to see show up over the next year, what are our goals, our ambitions, how can we add greater impact and contribution. It's a powerful time. I would encourage everybody to take, a half a day a year or a couple hours to plot out what do they want their next year to look like. And the really, really wild thing is I've been doing this probably for about 15 years here at Belmont. It's a great place because it allows you to get in touch with yourself. Being out in nature along the bay, you get to figure out who you are and what's important to you. Get that down in paper, get that into visualizations and affirmations. And every time I've done this, the next year has always produced the things that I've set out for to produce, and it's a really, really powerful activity. So if you want more information on that, drop me a line because it is just it's produced every single year for the last 15 years, and I can't even begin to put in words how effective and how powerful going through that activity is. At any rate, today's clip is called The Point of Resistance, and what I want to talk about is if you look at the waterway behind me, there's a lot of boats, and if we turn here, hopefully you can see it. There's a lot of boats anchored in a slip just about a half a mile up the bay. And a slip is a safe place where boats anchor. It's a place to keep them out of the ocean, keep them out of the wind and the waves, and really to get to the Atlantic Ocean, they have this safe channel that runs behind us that they can travel down. Now, interestingly enough, just a short way down the channel, there comes a point in time where they get out of the shallows and they get into deeper water. They get into higher waves, higher wind. And when that happens, the boat needs to make an adjustment because it experiences resistance. When it's coming down through the safety of the slip behind us, or the safety of the waters behind us, they're shallow, they're not very risk-oriented, they're pretty calm. The boat can come down at quarter or half throttle, not a big deal. But when it hits that open water, it needs to throttle up. It needs to understand that the waves are going to be bigger, the wind's going to be greater, and the resistance is going to be much more significant. Now, that is such a great metaphor for the way that life works. Anytime you're trying to get from point A to point B, and you're trying to better yourself or become something or do something or achieve something, oftentimes it starts out pretty easy, right? We're motivated, we're excited, and we can sort of give a quarter to a half throttle and make progress. However, there comes that point in time where we hit that point of resistance, where we move from the shallow waters to the deeper waters. And when that happens, we hit higher waves, higher wind, higher resistance, and the environment becomes much more demanding. Many times people run into that and they think that that resistance is a sign that things aren't meant to be. And what I would encourage you is that that resistance is not a sign that things aren't meant to be, but it's a confirmation that things are meant to be and that you're going in the right direction. The boat that comes down through this bay has to hit that resistance before it gets to the ocean. That resistance is a sign that it's going in the right direction and it's moving forward in the right direction, going to where it needs to go. And when that boat hits the resistance, as opposed to becoming discouraged and turning around or even not reacting and letting the waves and the wind sink it, it up throttles, it raises its game, it moves into the resistance, steps into the resistance, realizing that it has to push through that resistance to get to its destination. And that's the same way with you and I. We're moving along, we set out a goal, we set out a mission, we set out a change in our lives, and things are going well, and all of a sudden, boom, we hit that level of resistance. We have to start to expect that to occur. And when it does occur, not think that it's a sign that things aren't meant to be, but that it's a sign that we are going in the right direction. For many years, I would hit that point of resistance and I would think, this is a sign that things aren't going well and that I should turn around. And I would start to microanalyze it, overanalyze and overthink it. And as a result of that, I self-sabotaged my success in a lot of areas because I mistook that point of resistance as a no, as opposed to a confirmation that I was going in the right direction. Now, when I hit that resistance, not only do I prepare for it, but I'm glad. because I know that it's taking me in the direction that I want to go and that I'm going in the right direction. If these boats went the wrong way up the bay and didn't hit any resistance, they would wind up in the interior of the US, 1,000 miles away from where they wanted to go. But they know that they're going in the right direction because they hit those periods of resistance. It's a sign that the more resistance, the higher the waves are, the closer they are to the ocean, and they are going in the right direction. So my encouragement to you is that not only should you be aware that that point of resistance is coming, but expect for it to come. And don't see it as a no, but see it as a confirmation that the very thing that you're looking to do, become, or move toward is coming. And when you hit that, don't fall into that self-sabotaging methodology that you did before, whether it's overanalyzing or overthinking or doubting. But begin to understand that because this is a good sign, begin to think in terms of this is possible, I am going in the right direction, I'm not going to overthink it, I'm going to up my game, up throttle, step into the resistance, move through it, and move closer to that success point that I'm looking to press towards. That's what winners do, that's what the greats do, and that's what anybody who achieves anything significant does, because resistance comes, but you have to understand that resistance is a sign of confirmation. It's not a sign that you're not getting what you want to get. Be ready for it, prepare for it, don't fall into that self-sabotaging pattern that you may have fallen into the past. Step into it, create that new pattern, continuing to move forward, and you will find yourselves going exactly where you want to go and getting to where you want to go. Love that point of resistance. Look for it, embrace it, punch through it, and you're there. Tim from the LV, wishing you an awesome day. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon.